Hi, I'm Aubrie.
Hi, I'm Kathleen.
I'm a former Christian deconstructing and figuring out what works for me.
And I'm a former Mormon turned atheist.
Welcome to the CNA podcast.
Let's dive in.
Hey guys, have you left a review for our podcast yet? Head over to wherever you listen to your podcast and do that right now.
And follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Christian and the Atheist.
Check us out on Patreon for ad-free content.
And speaking of ads, if you or your business would like to sponsor the Christian and the Atheist podcast, feel free to contact us to get started.
Coming up on the Christian and the Atheist podcast.
Oh, you should go to Lifechurch. I go there, and I've just recently started going there, and I love it. And they're totally like this. And I almost
You should have
commented
tagged me in it.
Because
I mean, okay, if it is what Lifechurch, because I don't want to trash Lifechurch fully.
I'm okay with it.
So another funny thing that happened to me recently that I was like, do I want to talk about this on the podcast?
Welcome to the CNA podcast morning show where we let you know what's going on in our lives right now.
And I still can't get used to that new name.
I know.
I was literally preparing for you to say the intro, and I was like, then you said the right one, and I was like, oh,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
We did it.
This is crazy. This is our first time recording in 2024, which
Yeah,
is even crazier.
We are used to recording at least once a week, if not more.
Yeah. But we kind of adjusted.
Yes. And life has been a giant train of crazy.
Wild ride.
If you can't tell by my voice, I had the flu.
You did.
And I'm fine now. I'm fine now, but I sound like a man, so that's cool, I guess. This might be the new normal. Whatever.
That's fine.
I really hope not, because that would be annoying.
Yeah, and toxic masculinity, don't let that be a thing. Be a good example to the men out there.
You know, I really can. I feel like I have a lifetime of learning of how to be a woman to then teach my fellow men how to stop sucking so bad.
Yes. So, let's kind of go into something that's going on. We're going to talk about current events a little bit. This is going to be a short and sweet because, I don't know.
We got shit to do.
That too. So, Barbie, the Barbie movie was probably one of my most favorite movies ever.
Definitely my favorite of the year.
And we're not alone in feeling that way.
You know, it was like a worldwide phenomenon. I don't know. It's crazy.
And the Oscars.
You got there.
Was the Grammys recent though?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about that too. But
yes,
what was it? Oscars came up. And what's her name that directed?
Greta Gerwig.
Greta and Margot. No nominations.
Nothing.
What the heck?
Yeah, nothing at all.
But Ken/Ryan Gosling got nominated. I mean, are you kidding?
Here's the deal. Did he do an excellent job? Absolutely.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Am I thrilled with his performance? 1000%. Do I think that Greta deserved it more than any of them? Yes, I do. I think Margot Robbie did it also an incredible job. I think America Ferrera did an incredible job. I think everybody. Hell, I think the guy who plays Alan in the movie, what's his name?
Brilliant.
Did great. And they could probably all get Oscars. Maybe I'm biased because I loved the movie. I know people who didn't like it. Not because of...
Nobody. Everybody loved it. But it's kind of like, I don't know. Anyways.
I loved it.
I like how Ryan... Okay, so I'm Just Ken won a Grammy.
Yes. And the reactions.
Billy's. And he didn't. They literally said, I'm Just Ken. And Ryan was like, what?
I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't by now, get out from under the rock you live under.
We're going to tell you about it.
Get on the internet for the first time in your life. I don't know. What are you doing?
It's worthy of being talked about. He just sat there, did not get up. He did not go up and get the award.
The writers went up and he stayed in his seat.
It's like,
the people... when they say, and the winner is blah, 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 and they pan to everybody, they pan to his face, and he did like a what face, and looked around and was like, huh? And didn't move, which made me laugh so hard because maybe I'm being a bitch. But I feel like I'm Just Kidding is not that hard to sing. It's pretty, I've been singing it around my house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I can sing it. Again, sure. I think it's a great song. I think they did a great, it's fun and it's silly. I think Ryan Gosling did a great job.
But
I think the writers of that song did a great job. I don't have any.
It wasn't on the radio.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It has been streamed over a billion times.
On the radio.
What I Was Made For has been streamed over a billion times.
Yeah.
That's clearly a big deal. So a few things have happened. You guys drove through an ice storm.
So, yes. So this last 2 weeks have been a shit show at my house. It's been insane.
Literally. Well, okay.
Not really literally.
Not literal
There was a lot of vomit, but not shit. So, okay. So we had a volleyball tournament in Tulsa. Of course we did, because that's all we do. And halfway through it, it was 2 days, all day, every day, starting 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Right.
Nonstop volleyball games, back to back to back. It is crazy. It is insane. It's loud. It's stressful. And we usually are there for 2 days straight. So we had a volleyball tournament. Halfway through the second day, Margot starts not feeling good.
Oh, yeah.
And she is, of course, obsessed. Margot is my second daughter, who is obsessed with volleyball, and she wants to do perfect. She wants to make it. Every game has to be perfect, and every, practice has to be perfect. She is very motivated to do her best every time, which is amazing. But she starts not feeling good, and I know she's really feeling shitty because she starts shanking balls, which means when she hits a ball, it goes the wrong direction.
Oh,
and
gosh.
They're going out of bounds, and she's missing stuff, and I'm like, oh no, she is deathly ill. She's gonna die here. And so we get home from that. She still won third place in the tournament,
which is amazing.
Out of how many teams? Anyway. We get home, and sure enough, she has the flu, the full-on flu. She's sick for a week straight. 2 days before the tournament, she had 4 teeth extracted.
Oh, yeah.
To get her braces
Y'all
on.
been through it. Oh, my God.
Margot especially. Girl needs a nap. But anyway, so she had 4 teeth extracted going into this tournament to have her braces on. She gets the flu at the tournament. She is throwing up. She has a high fever. Brandon comes home from work a day later, says, I tested positive for the flu.
Cute.
And I'm going, okay, great. And then a day after that, I start feeling like crap. And I was like, no. And then because he's a doctor, he got us Tamiflu.
Yeah, perfect.
Really quickly. And so anyway, she then had another tournament Sunday, which was in Oklahoma City. So we go down there. She's still kind of coughing, and she feels good, but she's not 100% her best. We were at that tournament. It was a 1-day tournament, which means they cram everything into 1 day instead of 2. We were there for 15 and a half hours straight. Mm-hmm. Both girls played. By the time we left, it was 10:30 at night. And there was an ice storm that had been moving into the area for the last few hours.
It's crazy.
The ground is a sheet of ice. The whole ground. The roads are a sheet of ice.
It's not freezing or
it's
snow.
Not slush.
It's not snow that's melted and then turned to ice. It's literally trees are coated in ice.
Yes. The roofs are covered in ice. Everything is covered in ice. And it's raining.
Yeah.
And the second it hits the ground, it freezes. So we got on the road. And it is, of course, completely icy. And it took us from our house to Oklahoma City is about an hour and a half drive?
No, that is a 2-hour drive, friend.
Okay, I don't know.
Sorry. Jeez. I'm like, don't short yourself from driving in this.
Anyway.
It's insane.
We doubled it on the way home.
Yeah.
We drove
I mean, if you're driving fast, you can make it in an hour and a half. But that's stupid fast.
No, it is. And we don't. Brandon probably does.
My mom can get here in an hour.
Yeah, Brandon probably.
Y'all are nuts.
If Brandon likes to drive fast on the highways, he likes to go.
Well, on turnpike, it's 80, so it's
But anyway, we got home at 2 a.m. and it was by the time we got home, by the time we were rolling into Tulsa, we started not being able to see. Yeah. The lights weren't on, and we were like, this is crazy. It's you just can't see anything. But there were certain stretches of highway where we just were sliding on ice. There was no driving. We were just sliding down hills on ice.
That's like a nightmare.
It was really stressful. And Brandon, of course, was a pro, drove super well. There were several times where ahead of us, we would see trucks, the semis, starting to slide back and forth on the road. And he was like, ah! And we're like, oh my Dad. And the girls are sound asleep. They don't even know. But anyway, the windshield wipers were just sheathed in ice. Yeah. They weren't working anymore. So we had to keep the, like the radiator. What is it called? What am I saying?
I don't know.
Okay. The thing where like the hot air blowing on the windshield the whole time.
The defroster.
Thank you.
That's radiator.
I'm very tired. We had to keep that on full blast so that we could see out the windshield.
What's a radiator?
It's not old school for like 100-year-old home for heating your home.
But it's on a car too, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that for?
I think it's the same concept. I don't know. But anyway. But by the time we got home, the entire car, and I mean the whole, I wish I was making this up, had about a half-inch case of ice around it. The windows and the mirrors had ice covering them. The reason we couldn't see with the lights is because there was so much ice on top of the lights that the light wasn't shining through them.
It's terrifying.
And so we rolled into the house, and by rolled, like as we were going,
literally,
as we went to turn into my neighborhood, Brandon started,
you have a hill.
He slid past it.
Your house?
No, the neighborhood entrance. He started because our entrance is on a hill. He slid right past it, and we were like, "Okay, we'll just try that again, I guess." And so we had to turn around at the bottom. And of course, it's the middle of the night, so there's no cars out.
That's terrifying.
But in the middle of the street, he's like trying to turn the car, and we can go up again. And we got in the neighborhood. We just slid into it. We slid down into our neighborhood and just slid. Yeah. It was crazy. But by the time we got home, everyone's exhausted. And then Margot got her braces on like the next day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was supposed to get mine off.
Yeah.
But that storm kept me from going in.
Yeah.
So I have freaking my Invisalign for life. So I was scrolling through Facebook, I think 2 days ago. Yeah. You know, millennial shit. And
all day, every day.
That
sounds... No,
there's terrible. Nothing that exciting, but I'm just mindlessly scrolling, and I see in the one of our town's Facebook groups, someone posts, is there any atheist communities that get together in town, because I'd like to build a community.
I can't believe I didn't see that, because I would have commented.
It's all about Owasso.
Oh, I don't know if I'm in that one.
Okay.
Anyway.
So the amount of comments that were like, come to Jesus.
Ugh.
Was so funny.
Jeez.
So, and then there was a lot of people who are like, I'm an atheist, so we can get together, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then someone commented, like, the atheist group that's in Tulsa.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, yeah, that's a good one. Someone commented, you should try Lifechurch.
No.
Isn't that hilarious?
I did see somebody recently, and I almost commented, but I was like, this is not my circus and not my monkeys.
Guess what I did? I commented, do not go to Lifechurch. Not that you're looking for a church.
I love it.
The amount of likes that it's gotten is hilarious. Yeah. Anyways, so
yeah, I saw one recently.
So tell me about yours.
So it was very similar. It was like, I'm moving to Owasso, and I want a church. And the way they were saying it made it sound like they were 6 months ago. Okay. They were like, I want a church that focuses more on loving people than the actual, like, it was basically, it was written in a way that was almost like code language for, I support gay people, I support Black Lives Matter, I support very liberal, like not conservative politically, blah blah blah, but I still want to go to a church. So they were like, I want a church that focuses more on the feel and the love than the actual blah blah. And so many comments were like, there was one that said, oh, you should go to Lifechurch. I go there, and I've just recently started going there, and I love it, and they're totally like this. And I almost
you should have tagged me in it.
Oh, you should go to Lifechurch. I go there, and I've just recently started going there, and I love it, and they're totally like this. And I almost
you should have tagged me in it. Tag me in those. I will see if I can find it.
I know. I'll see if I can find it, because I almost commented on it and was like, I mean, it sounds like you. I almost, but I didn't. Because
I mean, okay, if it is what Lifechurch, because I don't want to trash Lifechurch fully.
I'm okay with it.
You are, and that's and I'm okay with.
I know.
Like, okay, if you're looking for a specific thing that Lifechurch is, I will say that's Lifechurch.
Have fun,
but don't go into the faith, religion of it, thinking that they support Black Lives Matter openly, because they don't openly support it. They don't openly support gay marriage, but they are against it.
Yeah.
But you can be gay and go there. If that's what you're okay, if you're okay with that, then go.
Right. If that's what you're wanting, great.
It's just like, you gotta like know what you're like, I knew what I was getting myself into. That's why I'm not like this big, like, they're fraud.
Right.
No, they're not a fraud. They tell you what they believe.
Right.
And if you can't fully like be in that box, then you're not fully in that box, and you're kind of the outsider, and you're not going to be able to do certain things that you may like have gifts for.
Right.
So
there was a woman, though, everybody who would comment Lifechurch, she would just copy and paste the same like comment afterwards, and it was just like, it's fine if you want your eardrums blown out. Seriously, they give you earplugs. That shit's crazy. I'm like, not exactly word for word. She didn't say that shit's crazy. That? It wasn't me. But she did be like, they're great if you want your eardrums blown out. Seriously, they give you earplugs. And it's like, very loud. And I was loud. Like,
it's so loud.
She posted it on every single comment. That. And I was like, she's
got an agenda, and we're clapping.
She's like, too loud. Don't so like funny. It. No, I'm writing it. But anyway.
So another funny thing that happened to me recently that I was like, do I want to talk about this on the podcast? Have I told you this? I think I did.
Maybe.
So Frank and I went to Sprouts, and we never go to Sprouts.
Yes, you told me this.
And we're standing in line, and I kind of look to my left, and there's like a line, like Sprouts sucks at.
Oh, their lines are crazy.
Their lines, like, and people just kind of conform to it, whatever. And I'm like, what can you do? Nothing. You just stand in line and wait. Yeah. And I kind of see, like, I don't look at the people's faces, and I don't see anyone I realize, and I know, and I'm just looking around waiting, and then the person that I kind of barely looked at comes running over. And I look at her face, and I was like, oh my God, it's Callie from church. From
Lifechurch.
Not church.
Nope.
And
if you don't remember who we're talking about, she's the one who sat you down and said, you're going to have to leave.
Very nicely,
very sweetly. But she's the one who had the conversation that said, you can't be in leadership anymore, and here's why.
Yeah. So it was hilarious and insane. It was one of these moments where it's like, I saw her and I was happy to see her. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. I was actually like, I feel like these are like, this is why I feel like God's real. Because there's these moments of like, I feel like I'm getting prepared for this. I thought about this. What would I do if I saw her in person, like again? And I'd be like, I would be excited to see her. And she just like, she was so elated to see both Frank and I. And I gave her a big hug, and I was so happy to see her. And it was a great thing. And I'm like, I wish I would have been like, what you did was a big deal. And it was awful. But it was such a big deal. And it's like, it was a domino effect of only positive things for me in my life. Right. I needed to get out of that place. I needed to find my true people. I needed to find a place that could feed into my family properly. Right. And Lifechurch wasn't that. And I wasn't in a place to leave. Yeah. And it took having to be asked to step down to leave.
In that moment, you were...
I wish I could have told her that.
Yeah.
But...
In the moment that it happened of her having this conversation with you, you were very upset, and rightfully so. But in the end, looking back, it's like,
she was the perfect person.
That was a good catalyst.
Oh my God, yes.
For my life.
But by God, it hurt like hell.
Yeah, they always do.
Like, she's not a villain in my eyes at all. There are villains in that church for sure, in my eyes, and that's fine. They get to be that. I'm a villain in people's lives, I'm sure, somehow.
Ooh, I hope I am.
You're funny. So the thing that was kind of interesting was after we left and got in the van and like headed back to our house, I literally was sitting there like, Frank, oh my God, like. It was good. Yeah. But I had this gross feeling, like this sinking feeling. That used to be one of my pastors. That used to be a friend of, like, a friend. I'm not saying she's not my friend because we're not friendly, but more of, we just don't have the same path.
You're not in the same circle anymore.
And so it's like, and then it just brings back all the memories of what I had and no longer have. And it was like, this is a weird feeling.
Yep.
And one of the things that I keep telling Frank is I can't wait till we move and not be in a city where I know people.
It is really nice.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing people. And I loved seeing Callie.
Yeah.
I don't love seeing a lot of people that I do see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, the amount of people I run into from Lifechurch is all over the place.
Yeah. We had the same thing when we left to move to Arizona. Because again, growing up here church-wise, we were both from the same church, and there were lots of people, and basically of our community, church community, the Mormon, everybody knew. If they didn't know me personally, they knew my family. And if they didn't know Brandon personally, they knew his dad. And if they didn't know his dad,
everybody.
Yes. And so there was a lot of, we would run into people, and it still happens now but now we're so far removed from it that most people don't say hi to us.
Oh, which is really?
Oh, no. Most people don't. No. They don't speak to me.
Nice. I would also be offended. Me. I know, right?
No, they don't. Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is just simply of I think that person went to church with us, but it's not like we knew them. Mm-hmm. If it's somebody that I know, they'll say hi, of course. But I don't run into most people that I know because they all live in Broken Arrow where I grew up. Yeah. And so in Owasso, that's all people who saw me several times a year, maybe, or they know my mom and they think they might recognize me, but they're not sure. And so, but when we moved to Arizona, there was a lot of that. We were finally allowed to do whatever we wanted without worrying about, is this going to get back to our parents at church? We could skip church and no one's going to call our dads and be like, nice. Where was your son today?
Be more dramatic than it was already dramatic, but I feel like that would have added a level of dramatic.
Yes. It gave us the chance to actually make the decisions we wanted to make together without worrying about who's going to know and tell us and talk to us, and who's going to call my mom and tell her about it, and who's going to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Which, of course, they did once we moved back here. Right. That all started up again. But anyway.
That's cute.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. I mean, I love living in the town we live in, and how it is a small town feel in a bigger city.
Yes.
But, it's also awful.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of running into people that I don't want to see, or it's an odd feeling.
Yeah. I feel like this move to Chicago is going to be scary and stressful and hard.
It's going to be a lot of things.
But I think it's going to be really, it's going to be really good for you guys. I think it's going to be good for you and Frank and the kids to only have each other for a little bit. You have to rely on each other. There is no neighbors and friends and family, and it's very isolating for a minute, but it does force you to stick together and hang out together, and it ends up being,
I mean, for me, the community that I've kept, having you, having my other friends, I think that's gonna be just fine. I can call you and be listen, we can have a conversation, and then it'll fill my cup up. You know
I do it with Colleen all the time.
Always,
last night, we have wine nights where we get on
cute.
FaceTime and have a glass of wine and just chat about nothing.
And maybe we can do that every once in a while with Colleen too, because we love each other.
Absolutely. But
anyway, so that was interesting, and I'm excited for that. But the idea of moving has been this really weird. Yeah. The past 10 days, I can say that I'm sitting here what the actual F.
Yeah.
And in a sense of where are we going to live? Because I don't to not know where I'm going to live house-wise is weird.
It's hard. That's stressful.
Yeah. It's just, that was stressful for a minute. And then we went and the kids have these new little health things going on. My son's, all of a sudden, we got him tested, and he's allergic to everything food-wise.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into too much detail. Out of that could be a 30-minute conversation, but we literally
there's an added level of, okay, now what do we do?
We have to change our entire diets. Yeah. My son's allergic to milk, soy, wheat, and then chicken and pork, and there's a million different things. Yeah. And I'm I'm sorry, what?
Is that come again?
Peanuts, egg.
Yeah. Tomatoes. Everything.
Potatoes,
how
cashews, and it's just the regular
stuff. Some of the
stuff.
things you're all right, he's allergic to tree nuts. Cool. We don't have to
figure that out.
We'll use almond butter instead. Oh, wait, he's allergic to almonds.
Yeah, just kidding. Shit.
Just kidding.
So that was a daunting thing, and I was so depressed.
Well, there's a lot going on.
There's
a lot going on to try and figure all that out, and that's crazy stressful.
My oldest has a heart condition, and she has to have another heart procedure before we move, which isn't this big crazy thing, but it's also not just this thing, small thing. So I'm just like, oh my God, everything's spiraling.
It's another thing on the list of things that you need to figure out in the next 2 minutes. Yeah. So good luck.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
I think I remember being a Christian. Do you remember this? Like, I don't know if this was a big Mormon culture thing, is like when you're going, like when life changes happen, it's kind of like these, okay, like if you dive more into the ministry, like the enemy comes at you harder, and like things start to go hard in your life.
Yeah.
And I like something about being like deconstructing, I guess this is part of it, is and no longer being Christian is like interesting, because I think still have my Christian brain. Yeah. Not that I'm still Christian, that I saw like this is what I like. You can't turn it off.
No, there's like a gut reaction of like,
what?
Are the we making the wrong choice? Because Satan's coming for us now.
And I'm like, that is. And I'm sitting there like remembering how I used to think and being like, wow, this is just regular life.
Yeah, everybody's doing this all the time. And
this is normal.
That is definitely a thing in Mormonism, that type of mindset, or even just the fact that problems like this are caused by the adversary. Yeah. Regardless of whether he likes what you're doing or not, he's just having fun. He's just an agent of chaos and likes f***ing your shit up.
And it's what's funny about that is
sorry, Mom. Recently, my mom texted me.
Yeah.
And told me that she doesn't like it that we cuss more now. And I was like, I think
I'm sorry.
I was like, I think we cuss the same, but I think we just
stopped bleeping the little cuss words. I do take the F word out. Yeah. That's it. I was going to keep out bitch, but I keep it. I'm sorry, Pam, but
I'm not upset.
Listen.
I'm not mad. Sorry, Mom.
Love you. Bye.
No. Listen. You're allowed to be upset. You're a grandma. That's your job, to be upset about bad words. That's fine.
It's hard sometimes for certain people, and I was trying to cater to that, but at the same time, like,
we're not gonna.
I do cater to the F word. Yeah, that's a lot.
We'll bleep out the F word, but I'm probably still gonna cuss. I'm sorry, Mom. You're gonna have to just breathe through it. Lamaze.
You'll be all right, Lamaze.
You're gonna be okay. You could be okay. You could be okay. Anyway. I don't know what I was talking about.
Well, Frank just sent me a picture of something we left on the bedstand. Nothing too crazy.
What'd you leave on the bedstand, Aubrie?
Intimate lotion.
Okay.
That's it. And he sent me a picture. I'm like, okay, what? He's like, what if the kids see this?
Put it away.
I'm blushing.
Put it away.
You're the one who...
Stop taking pictures and put it up.
Face.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Taking a picture of it's funny, though.
That's funny.
Nice picture, Frank. Just walked by.
What are you doing? There's children in this house. What's the matter with you two?
We never are intimate, ever.
No, nobody would do. That's gross.
We just sleep next
Parents
to each other.
Parents don't do that. No way.
So, last thing I wanted to bring up, I think. So I had lunch with a friend who used to go to Lifechurch, no longer does.
Okay.
She's so fantastic. She's like a warm, cozy blanket that just, I went and had lunch with her, and just, you ever go and you haven't, like, okay, so this is a person that I don't spend a lot of time with on a regular, but we were like, oh, I'm moving, let's get together.
Yeah.
And then you're in their presence and you're like, you literally are a light. I just appreciated sitting in front of somebody and them asking me how I'm doing, and then me asking her how she's doing, and we sat there for 2 hours at Panera Bread and just had really good conversation. And it was like I had left this like place, and she said something, and this is what I wanted to talk about, that it was like they're trying to find a church home, and then I have just found a new one, and something that we both kind of became, like Frank and I told Frank that this terminology she used, we hadn't been using it yet, but I was like, this is what we're doing, and I didn't realize it. She's like, we don't want to make the church our entire life anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not the faith, it's not the religion. She's like, they're very much followers of Christ.
Right.
And that is their faith and that's their life. And
Yeah.
they get to have that, but it's the church.
Yes.
This is no longer our entire life.
Right.
Like our life does not revolve around this anymore where it did. And it's like same.
Yeah.
And then Frank and I went to All Souls and I was like diving in, signing up for every ministry.
Right.
Like where can I help? I was like doing the memorial service stuff, the like
Trying
youth
to
group.
replace
Yes.
that.
Well, just diving in because that's
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
That's my life. Like I live for this stuff. I'm here. I love church. I want to serve. I want to be a part of this. Where do you need me? I am the person for the job because this is what I want.
Yeah.
And then I started backing up
Yeah.
and being like, no, I'm not going to do youth group anymore.
Yeah.
I need to take a minute because I knew we were going to be moving potentially.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get attached to the youth group kids and then be like, I'm leaving because that really does
That sucks.
mess with the kids.
It can,
I
for
saw
sure.
it with Lifechurch
Yeah.
and Switch. Like when we got new pastors, it really emotionally does a lot for teenagers, new leaders. It really does a thing for them. And that can I don't want to do that. And then some other stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't have to be up at the church every Wednesday because Sharon had a class up there. We don't have it anymore. And I'm like, I don't have to go every Wednesday. And I'm like telling Frank, wow, she said this. And I was like, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. And I don't think anything's wrong with making it your whole life.
No, it's
if
definitely a
fits.
thing that people do. But
I'm like, no, not me.
yeah, the deconstruction process, there is a moment, at least in mine, because Mormonism is your whole life as well. And there is a moment where you're like, oh, I get to have my own life. I get to do what I want to do.
Or not to do.
Or do whatever. Or sit
Exactly.
around and that we still, Brandon and I make the joke when we're out and about with the kids doing stuff. It's always like when we went to Oklahoma City, we went down the night before, we stayed in the hotel the night before.
Fun.
We went to dinner and we were kind of looking for some time to kill. It was freezing and we were like, let's go walk around. We went and walked around Barnes and Noble. Like it was nothing crazy. Yeah. But we were walking around just laughing with the kids. They were being silly. We'd eaten a ton of good food and we're having a great time. And that's the type of thing that we make the joke of like, welcome to my church. This is my church now. Because now,
good.
like
I
there's
love that.
Yeah, there's
that is so cute.
And on Sundays,
let's wrap
when
that
we're
in a bow.
I know. we're in these giant volleyball tournaments for 15 hours.
This is your church.
And I lost part of the reason I don't have a voice is because I was screaming so much.
Sure,
Portia's team won the entire tournament. Margot's team got third in the entire tournament. So I'm like screaming my face off. And again, that's my church now. I
love that so much.
It's not. Yeah. It's just doing the things that I want to do, and I have time now.
I loved hearing that, and it felt like being seen and seeing her and that. So I just really appreciate that moment. I wanted to share. Like, I hope that everybody listening has a chance to like connect with someone in that sense. Like I connect with you. I haven't connected with you in a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been.
I'm straying on a relationship and going elsewhere. I'm just kidding.
I'm really upset. I'm hungry. Between both of our craziness the last few weeks, first of all, 2024 can suck it because it's been crazy.
I'm like, I don't even put titles on years anymore.
Yeah,
because it's January. January's a thing.
January
is the
the worst.
Longest month of the year for sure.
Colleen and I have talked about this, how every year I sort of expect Christmas to be over and then it to be springtime.
And it's not. And it's even worse. It's actually colder.
It's worse.
It's so much colder.
It's like a dark, gray, horrible cloud of nothing for like 3 months.
And you're supposed to be getting your life together for the year.
What are you supposed to be doing? You can't do anything.
It's dumb.
It's like a cloud of ice.
Yeah, but February will be here in a few days.
And February is just as bad.
Well, it'll be a little longer this year by one day, But
is it? I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's a leap year.
Oh, that's crazy. Congrats, everybody.
My dad's birthday is on the 1st of March. And so these leap years, it's like he calls the 29th his birthday sometimes. And it makes me laugh. I'm like, you get 2 days of birthday.
That's cute.
Isn't that funny?
That's fun.
Could you imagine if he was born on the 29th?
I've heard of people who do that. Yeah. And they're like, technically, I'm 6 years old. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah. No.
Days, well, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah. Thanks for listening to our chaos.
You just just said.
I glitched.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know. I kind of panic about moving and doing the podcast, but I'm like, I love it so much that I'm like,
we'll make it work.
Excited to see what it is in.
Yeah. We'll make it work.
In Chicago. But I was like, you're going to have to come over here and record with me because we only get so many of these anymore.
Yes. We're going to have to, like, take advantage of the few more times we have. For sure. Now that hopefully no one's dying of the flu. Good Lord.
Sheesh. Anyways, you guys stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes.
Stay warm, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.